Hello students, welcome in our association. In previous video we have seen about igneous rocks. Igneous rock, which is first type of rocks. Rocks which has three types, that are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rock. So among of this, first one we have seen in previous video, which is igneous rock. Igneous means fire. Fire which is in molten form. Lava which is in molten form, so that fire comes out on the surface of earth or below the surface of earth, and there it's cooled down. And some rocks are formed, that rocks are known as igneous rocks. Igneous rocks which are also called as primary rocks. Igneous rocks which has two types, that are intrusive igneous rocks and extrusive igneous rocks. Intrusive igneous rocks means rocks, the molten magma which cooled under the surface or below the surface of earth, which takes more time, thousands of years, and afterwards, after solidification, some rocks are formed which are known as igneous rocks. And extrusive igneous rocks, the molten magma, lava which comes on the surface of earth, fire which comes on the surface of earth, and on the surface of earth it's cooled rapidly, very fast. As a result, that rocks are known as grain rocks, means a small size. So this type of rocks are known as extrusive igneous rocks, which has some characteristics about which we have seen yesterday. Now the second type of rock, which is sedimentary rocks. About igneous rock we have seen in previous video. Now second type of rock, which is sedimentary rocks. Now here also sediments. Sediments means small particles of rocks. What is a process of formation of sedimentary rocks? So by hitting, by forcing, rocks which roll down. These rocks, igneous rocks, these rocks roll down, then due to the wind, due to the rain, due to the sunshine, these rocks are cracked and hit. When these rocks roll down with the wind, with the water, so that time some cracks happen on it. When it's hit, when it's forced together, and it's break down in small fragments. These igneous rocks which are break down, which turns into small particles, small stones, which break down in small fragments, and these fragments, all these small pieces of the rocks, of igneous rocks, which carried away with the water, which carried away with the wind, and which are this all carried away fragments, sediments. These are called sediments, and these all sediments deposited in lowland area. Suppose here, like these mountains or high plateaus are there, and with the wind, with the water, this small fragments which are carried away and which are deposited in a lowland area, layer after layer, like this. Fragments are deposited on a place for a long time, and there some rocks are formed. That rocks are known as sedimentary rocks. So this type of formation is known as sedimentary, or these rocks are known as sedimentary rocks which are deposited. These all rocks which are deposited on a low-lying area with these fragments, with these sediments, some animals, plants, their remains can be mixed. They are also deposited and fixed with the layers. They remains with this fragments, and this type of rocks are known as sedimentary rocks. Some famous examples of sedimentary rocks are sandstone, limestone, shale, chalk, and conglomerate. So these are some examples of sedimentary rocks. Now we will see about the characteristics. What are the famous features? What are the features of sedimentary rocks? What are special about sedimentary rocks? So first, sedimentary rocks are made up of particles of various sizes. As I explained to you, all these fragments, all these particles which are carried away with the water, with the wind. So these all fragments, these all particles can be of various size. Some can be like a sand, pebbles, gravel, stone, pieces of stone. So these all are of various size. Some are in rounded form, some are in various different shapes. The next, these rocks mostly form under the water. Sedimentary rocks which form under the water. Why? Because of with the water, with the wind, all these fragments, all these sediments which are carried away with the water and deposited in a low-lying area below the water, on the surface of water or below the water. So these rocks form under the water, and on it there are some marks of waves and mud cracks. On these rocks there are some marks of waves as well as mud cracks. Next, sedimentary rocks found in horizontal layers. Sedimentary rocks which are found in horizontal layers, like this, layer after layer deposited on a place. So these all sedimentary rocks are found in a horizontal layers. As well as sedimentary rocks are softer than igneous rocks. As we have seen, igneous rocks which are hard, which are compact. But to the comparison of igneous rocks, the sedimentary rocks are softer than the igneous rocks. These are softer than the igneous rocks. As we have seen chalk, which is example of sedimentary rocks, and we know chalk which is very soft. We can make the pieces of chalk with our hands also. So like this softs are. Then next, in sedimentary rocks there are some remains of plants and animals. As I told to you, with the fragments, with the pieces of rocks, some remains of animals which are dead. So that remains of animals, remains of plants are also carried away and which are deposited with the fragments. As a result, in sedimentary rocks there are some of remains of plants and animals which are called fossils. These remains are called the dead remains of plants and animals which are called fossils, and which is helpful to us, due to which we are getting fuels like petroleum and different minerals we are getting from the sedimentary rocks. Third type of rock, which is metamorphic rocks. Before this we have seen about igneous rocks, then sedimentary rocks, and third one which is metamorphic rocks. So how igneous rock is formed? We have seen about this. Igneous means fire. Volcano, which is in fire form. So igneous rock is forms by the fire. Then sedimentary rocks which forms with the sediments. So in their names only their formation is hidden. But the third one, which is metamorphic rocks. how this metamorphic rock is formed. So, under the metamorphic rocks are formed under high temperature and pressure. If there is very high temperature and very high pressure is there, so this igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks, both the rocks, igneous rocks as well as sedimentary rocks, change their form, and after changing new rock is formed, so that is known as metamorphic rocks. So how metamorphic rocks are formed? After high temperature and pressure. If there is high temperature, if there is high pressure, so these igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks change their form and create new rock. So that new rock is known as sedimentary metamorphic rocks. By the sediments, by the igneous rocks, when they are coming in the contact of high pressure and high temperature, new rocks are formed, and that new rocks are known as metamorphic rocks, which are very hard, which are taking thousands of years. These rocks are forming slowly. Slowly these rocks are forming igneous rocks, then sedimentary rocks. To change in new form, this process is taking more time, thousands of a year, and after that some rocks are formed which are very hard, and that rocks are known as metamorphic rocks. Some examples of metamorphic rocks are marble, which formed from the limestone. After very time, limestone changed into marble. The next, granite, which formed from the granite. Grease, which changed from the granite. Slate, which changed from the shale. And quartzite, which changed from the sandstone. So in this way, igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks change in new form, and there some rocks are formed which are known as metamorphic rocks. The examples are here. Now, here also some characteristics are there of metamorphic rocks. That are, first, metamorphic rocks are hard and closed, banded structure. All metamorphic rocks which are very hard, which are taking more time, and which are closed banded structure. Their molecules which are very closed, which are banded, very tough with the closeness. Then metamorphic rocks are hard and have a high specific gravity. Metamorphic rocks which are very hard and they have high specific gravity. So this is also one of feature of metamorphic rock. Then they do not have empty space. If you observe metamorphic rocks, so metamorphic rocks, they do not have empty space. Their all molecules are closed. They all are joined together very. Then next, after change, when, as I explained to you, igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks change in new form with high temperature and pressure. So after change, they remains in original position. After change also, metamorphic rocks are remain in their original formation or original position. So these are some characteristics of metamorphic rocks. In this way, we have seen three types of rocks, which are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. So you have to complete notes about this. Thank you.